All right, good evening, everyone. We're glad you're here. Tonight we're going to cover how to register for your fall courses, academic advising, and tips to choose right courses, how to understand and pay your bill. A quick note on questions, we are not using the Q&A feature tonight, so please do not raise your hand during the presentation. Instead, toward the end, we'll have a live Q&A where you can then ask questions by unmuting yourself. Also, toward the end, we will have a free parking for the 26-27 academic year giveaway for one student. You must be present to win, so we'll drop that in the chat. Before I continued, I'd love to introduce our presentation presenters for them to introduce themselves. I'll go first. My name's Chris Green. I'm Assistant Director for the Students First Center.
Hi, I'm Jamie Richards. I'm the director of the Bobcat Advising Center, serving all first year and undeclared transfer students.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sosik Chibukchan. I'm Assistant Director for Students First Center.
Good evening, everybody. I am Carol Rivas. I am an Enrollment Service Advisor for the Students First Center.
Hi everyone, my name is Milton Carcamo. I'm one of the academic advisors for the Bobcat Advising Center.
And hi everyone, my name is Jean Vang. I'm one of the senior academic advisor and multimedia coordinator for the Bobcat Advising Center.
Okay, so agenda for tonight is we'll talk about upcoming dates and deadlines, how to register for your courses. We'll get some tips and resources from academic advising and go over how to predict your fall cost. So my colleague will drop our next steps link within the chat. Some June deadlines that are coming up would be if you have applied for housing, you do have your roommate selection going on. And later this month, your room selection will open. Starting next week from Monday through the 26th, new student course registration will be open. We'll go over how to see your time ticket a bit later. And we do also have another webinar this month going over study abroad on the 30th. Some missed deadlines. If you have not signed up for new student orientation, you can still sign up through your checklist. They have increased course capacity size. So if you did recently try to and were not able to register, go ahead and try again. If you also have anything related to the statement of legal residence on your checklist to do, please do that as soon as possible as well. And if you have not signed up for housing through the housing application portal, you can still sign up, although it's not guaranteed at this point in the summer. I do recommend to do that as soon as possible if wanting to live on campus. Some other upcoming deadlines by July 1st, please make sure you postmark your final official transcripts over to us. So order them electronically to be delivered. We will have another webinar July 9th about health insurance. By July 15th, you would order any official test scores over to us, so AP or SAT scores. The health insurance waiver does close July 27th. That is something that I would recommend not to wait on. It's on your UC Merced checklist to waive out of it, and that's something that you could start now. In August, we will have another webinar for move-in, bills, and the first week prep. Our fall fees are due on August 19th. Students move in from August 20th until the 23rd. New student orientation, parent and guest programming is occurring during the move-in time, so it will begin on the 19th and go until the 22nd. New students, their orientation programming will be after their move-in, the 23rd to the 25th. And fall instruction does begin on August 26th. Through your checklist, you can also submit your health immunization requirements. Some other tips are to read your UC Merced email at least once a week. Start ordering your final official transcripts over to us. Submit any immunization documents you have through your UC Merced checklist. Make sure to order any test scores over to us. So these are your AP, IB, SAT scores if applicable. Consider if you need a parking permit and review the TAPS website to purchase that. And look at your checklist through connect.ucmerced.edu. Dates and deadlines are individual, so you would have unique requirements and deadlines based upon your situation as well. And watch for other welcome week details as they're emailed out. And so we will now transition to going over registration. Okay, so we're dropping these links in our chat for registration. This is our registration guide that we'll go over and a link on registration errors. Before we start, I want to acknowledge that there are different students on this call. There are students that are participating in a program called Smart Start. They have received confirmation on that to their UC Merced email, and they will receive information related to their Smart Start schedule tomorrow through their UC Merced email. We have transfer students that may have received course recommendations from their academic advisor, so specific courses to take. Those would be within their UC Merced email as well, if not today, by tomorrow. And we also have first year students not in Smart Start that have been receiving registration guidance from the Bobcat Advising Center. And so they have received emails, including some this week related to registration and advising. And so now that we've kind of acknowledged the different populations of registration that are going on, let's kind of look at some demos. So this is a great website because it kind of goes over videos and visual tutorials on how to register. You would register through your My Registration in your Connect portal. We do have a helpful video on how to register here as well. You would click on My Registration and then prepare for registration. Going to the course schedule, it would allow you to search for courses and kind of build your own ideal schedule. And so let's look at the schedule. This is this link. So search class schedule. Your term is going to be fall. We're going to do a couple different examples. So let's pretend you're looking at psychology courses. Okay, so Psych 1, you would see top has your final exam time, whereas the bottom has your lecture meeting times. And so this would be the CRN that you would import into your My Registration. And some courses have multiple components to them. So Psych 10 has a lab that's associated with it as well. And so when you're going to register, you would include your lecture as well as the lab, if applicable, all at once. And so looking at this meeting time, on the top, you could see your final. So your final would be in December at the end of the semester, whereas your lecture meeting times would be Tuesday, Thursday, August 26th until December 11th. And then you would select one of these labs that fit your schedule best or your needs best. And so again, lecture and lab, if applicable. And we'll look at another example. So if looking at math, you see that it has a lecture as well as a discussion. So you would add both of those into your CRN cart. Hovering over the meeting times, you can see more clearly when the final exam is versus when the lectures are. And then looking at the discussion as well, it gives you more clearly when the discussion meets. But putting both of these items into your cart would be needed. And we'll look at one more example. Okay, so Bio 3, this is an example of a course that just has the lecture component. So looking at the meeting times, you see your final exam times, your lecture. It's meeting Monday, Wednesday, August through December. Okay, so that's kind of how to search for courses through the course schedule. When it comes to register for classes, you log into Connect and you would click on My Registration. Your Prepare for Register icon would showcase when your registration time would begin. They open next week. They remain open until September. However, you do want to register for as many units as you can when your registration does open. 12 or more is to be full-time. When you click on register for classes, that's where you can actually input the CRNs for the courses. And so you would click register, select fall 26. You could either enter your CRNs directly by going here if you've already seen them on the course schedule, or through this view find classes, it helps you search them through the schedule like we just looked at together. And then when you're ready to then press submit or add them to your cart, you would update the status down here in your cart to registered once you're done. Now, if you encounter any registration errors, there is a link in the chat that kind of reviews some of the common ones. You want to pay very close attention to the red pop-ups that come up. They will clearly tell you what the error is occurring. And so, for example, in this view, this student is trying to add by a 5, but it's creating a time conflict with one of their other CRNs. So it could be either the lecture, the lab times, even a final that's conflicting. When you're looking at the errors a bit more clearly here, it'll tell you kind of what action you might want to do. So maybe select a different course at a different time, review the registration website, the error site, or reach out to either the Students First Center or your academic advisor if you're needing assistance with any of those errors or understanding what they mean. Once you are registered, you can review your courses through registration and then view registration information. You would see more clearly a list of what you're enrolled in. And you can even see the schedule toward the bottom. That way you can see all your meeting times in one area. Some common errors include maybe trying to add into a lecture, but you're not inputting maybe the discussion or the lab that's also associated with it. So make sure you're putting all components of the course, if applicable. You may receive errors due to your major, and so that would pop up clearly as a error on the top right, and it'll tell you what course is giving you the error, and some more guidance on that perhaps. So like major or minor restrictions, you may want to contact your academic advisor for further guidance. But when you're on the course schedule too, you can click on the name of the course and see more clearly maybe what restrictions they have. So like this example, when you click on the name through the course schedule, you can see more information like a course description, restrictions. So this course in this example is restricted to only certain declared majors. Through that same area, you can also see meeting times, and you can also see the prerequisites for the course. So things that must be completed prior to trying to enroll in the course. And so this is an example of prerequisite for certain courses. So to take this course, more than likely it's an upper division course, you need to have CSC 31 and CSC 100 and Math 24 complete with a C minus or better. So looking at the prerequisites can kind of give you some guidance as well. If you're hitting time conflicts, you want to look for courses that are not conflicting in times. Math 5 is a common course that people register for in their first year, depending on their major. Math 5, you want to be sure to do the lecture as well as the discussion both at once, and also ensure you have completed your math placement exam. If you're wanting to enroll in courses that are closed, continue to check the course schedule for openings as more seats may open throughout the registration week. You do have the ability to waitlist a course starting on Monday, June 29th. And so that is an option. The waitlist, you are able to add yourself to the waitlist. If a spot does become available, you'll be emailed to your UC Merced email to web add yourself into the course within 18 hours, or the spot will go on to the next person on the waitlist. So waitlist is an option, but it won't be available next week. It'll open up the Monday after registration. And it would be best to just kind of continue to check the course schedule in the meantime for any other openings. One tool that we're also going to look at is the university catalog. So it's catalog.ucmerced.edu. Through this catalog, if you search your academic program, you can actually find your 4-year plan. So we're going to look at an example of psychology. So if you search it at the top, when you scroll down, you can see your program. So psychology BA, and click on it. And up here toward the top, it does include a 4-year plan. And so these are helpful to show suggested four-year plans for your specific major. Um, so I would recommend to kind of look through the university catalog for your program. That way you could see examples of your four-year plans. Um, and so now that you've seen how to register, I'll pass it over to our Bobcat advising team.
Thanks, Chris. And if my video is not super stable today, so if I go out, Milton or Zhang are going to take over for me. So here in the Bobcat Advising Center, we support all first year students and all undeclared transfer students. If you are an upper division transfer student in natural sciences or the School of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Arts, Shaw, they sent out recommendations for your classes this afternoon. So you should have received an email if you are a transfer student with recommendations for your first semester schedule. If you are a transfer student in the School of Engineering, you were put into classes through the Smart Start process. So anyone who is a first year student or a transfer, undeclared, or engineering student, and you registered for orientation by June 3rd, you've been registered through Smart Start. You'll have access to your schedule later this week, and we got you in at least 12 units of courses that are required for your major. Now, if you did not participate in Smart Start, you didn't register for orientation, or you just opted out, you're going to be building your schedule next week, but your advisors are available here to help you with that. So for all of our first year students, you should have received an email from your Bobcat advisor on Monday or Tuesday with ways to reach them. And the best way to reach them this summer is through Zoom office hours. So we have office hours every day where you can jump on Zoom, ask all your questions, get help building that schedule. We're here for you and we'll be here for you all summer. So a few basics for those of you who are new to college. Most classes on the UC Merced campus are 4 units. Some might be 3, some might be 2, but some 5, but most of them are going to be around 4 units. And generally speaking for college classes, 1 unit equals 1 hour that you spend in class each week. So if you're taking a 4 unit class, that means you're going to spend about 4 hours in your lecture and discussion those week. However, for every hour you spend in class, you should plan on spending 2 hours studying independently outside of class. So if you're looking at taking a 15 unit course load, that's 15 hours a week in class, which may not seem like much compared to the time you spent in school, in high school. However, you are also going to be studying for 30 hours outside of class. So it really is a full-time job to have a full-time course load. So when we use the term full-time, typically, if you're receiving financial aid, you need to have at least 12 units to qualify for most sources of financial aid. That's considered full-time. However, in order to graduate in 4 years and meet what we call the normal progress policy, you need to be averaging 15 units per semester. So you need a minimum of 120 units to earn any bachelor's degree. If we do the math, divide that by 4 years, that's 30 units per year or 15 units per semester. So if you're in Smart Start, like I said, we've put you in at least 12 units. You may want to consider adding another class if you're not hitting that 15. And again, your advisor will be here to help you with that next week to choose that fourth class. But at the very least, try to get yourself to 14 to 16 units every semester. For those of you who are first year students directly out of high school, my biggest piece of advice for you is to not delay your math class. If you are an engineering or a natural science major, you are going to have to take math every semester for several years. So do not skip math in the fall if you are doing any kind of STEM major. You have many semesters of math ahead of you, and if you get behind on that, it will mess up your trajectory and your time to graduation. Even if you aren't a STEM major, personally, I was not, and I decided to get my math out of the way my very first semester of college so that I didn't have to deal with it again because it was not my favorite subject. So math is a great choice no matter what your major to fill your schedule in the fall. Get it done, get it over with, and keep making progress, especially for you engineering and science folks. The other two classes that are super important in your first year are what we call the English Language Writing Requirement, or ELWR, or to pass Writing 1. So Writing 1 is your introductory composition class. Some of you may have already taken something like this if you were enrolled in dual enrollment at your community college. If you took AP English and got a score that waives the Writing 1 requirement, you're good to go. But if you haven't taken that first semester composition course, go ahead and get that done this fall. Even if you've taken Writing 1, you can go ahead and take Writing 10 2 semesters of composition are required for your bachelor's degree. And the other requirement is what we call a Spark seminar. So a Spark seminar is an interdisciplinary course that you can take in your first year, and the topics are all over the board. And they look at issues and topics that kind of spark your curiosity and your imagination and expose you to a lot of different things that you can study while you're a UC Merced student. So it's a great thing to take, especially if you're an undecided student, but it's also something that can expose you to areas of study within your field or within your chosen major. So a Spark seminar is required by the end of your first year. So again, if you've got nothing else to take or you're not sure where to start this fall, start with math, start with writing, and start with a Spark seminar. So those are our general tips, but again, you should have received emails from us about how to navigate that registration process. If you're starting from zero and you don't know where to start, go to the BAC website. We do have registration webinars. Recordings are on there. We have a couple more. Oh, not a couple more. We have one more tomorrow, but we do have recordings of our webinars on there. So workshops, so you can go in and get advice directly from advisors about what to take your first semester, regardless of for all the majors we offer. And then we do have walk-in advising every day on Zoom. So you don't have to be in Merced. You don't have to come to campus. You just jump on Zoom and talk directly to your advisor. Now that you know what to register for, or at least have an inkling, you've got some tools you can start using to explore your options. Let's talk about how to pay for it. I'm going to turn it over to Carol.
Thank you. I went ahead and I am going to drop the link. There we go. For the affordability tool. I am hoping that you all have had an opportunity to already review this. If not, this is a fantastic tool that kind of gives you an insight of, is it affordable for me to attend UC Merced? And it's just a big budget visual calculator here. And in section A, I'm just going to kind of briefly go over it. These are going to be your big charges you have. So line 1, you'll see tuition and fees, and we have that broken down for fall semester, spring semester, and your academic year. So all students attending are going to have those tuition and fee charges. This particular one is based off a student who is going to be an on-campus student using the dorms in the meal plan. So that number that we pulled from there is from that cost of attendance. So that number you see there, the 23,000, is off that cost of attendance. This is a fantastic tool because you can kind of go in and figure out, oh, maybe I want to do a triple room with the lowest meal plan, add your number. You can go in and make that change in there and it will adjust for you. The next item that is potential a cost you might incur is line 4, the health insurance. Right now, we're having that as 0 because we're going to assume that you're all going to try and waive out of the health insurance and use your personal insurance. So if you miss your waiver deadline, which is on your checklist, or if your waiver unfortunately gets denied, that will be a charge that will be added. And then there is Section B. Section B is going to take all the gift aid that you've been awarded, if you have been awarded that, and it's going to populate here again. It's for the whole academic year, but we split it half for fall, half for spring. And then Section C, that's going to be based off of in loans, if you need to utilize any loans offered out to you. That feature is turned on July 1st. And then you can go ahead and do the steps requirements for that. But the big question everybody wants to know, all right, do I have that red number or green? Red or green? So in Section D, that's going to let you know red would be a number that you would need to owe the university. Green is a number that the university would need to owe you. So this particular student that we're using, our test student, their charges and their gift aid, they had enough gift aid to cover all their charges with a little bit of a credit coming back that they could potentially use for their books. So I do recommend that you look at this tool if you haven't already done so. And then if you have questions, definitely reach out to the Students First Center and we can kind of walk through this with you. So now the big step is we have the My Bill. So the affordability tool that we just showed you isn't your actual charges. It's just a big estimated calculator for you. You're going to see your charges in your My Bill, which is located in your Connect portal. So you have that little icon there that says My Bill with the red arrow pointing to it. That's where you would locate it. The bill charges usually are going to get posted in July sometime. So right now, if you go in there, you're not going to see anything in there. And in this bill, you will have on your left-hand side different options here to go through. But in the main overview, you're going to see, like this one is showing there's charges due for the fall semester. There is a previous term balance on this one of $30, and at this point, no authorized aid. So the student has a $23,000 balance due. So this just kind of gives you that quick overview. If you're wanting us to have a conversation with your parents or somebody else, or you have somebody that is gracious enough to help make a payment on your bill for you, if you go to that upper right-hand corner, you'll see the square red rectangle around My Account. You can go down to the red arrow and you can put in your authorized payer information. So when somebody calls for us and has questions on your bill, if we don't see them listed on there, we will let them know we can't have that conversation, that you'll need to be present. Or if you have provided them with that, we'll check there. We'll be able to speak about your bill with this particular person. And on that payer invitation, you're going to provide their information. You send them an invite, and then we will verify their name and the email address that you'll be sending it to in there to make sure we're speaking with the appropriate person. And you'll get statements emailed to you. We don't send physical statements. They're all sent to you to your university email, which Chris did mention in the beginning for you to be checking weekly. It is important to keep on top of your emails. I know you get a lot of them. It can be overwhelming, but there is some very important information in there. So in the statements, they're sent at the beginning of each month. That's just a snapshot in time. But if you want to see the actual activity that is going on your account, we have the activity details. And you can see this breaks it down to the term, the transaction date, the type of transaction it is, and the charges and credits. So this is this live feed where if you see your statement and then you go to your bill like in 2 weeks, and you're like, wait, this doesn't match up because there may have been other transactions since then. So the activity details can answer a lot of questions for you if you're getting those emails like I owe, or wait, I'm getting a refund. This will provide fantastic information. And the next one is the deferred payment plan. We do offer a deferred payment plan, and that will open up on August 1st for you to sign up for if that's something you're choosing to do. There is a $40 participation fee, and you have to have a balance that is higher of 500 or more to enroll in this. If it is below the 500, that will need to be paid off in full. And it takes your remainder balance, breaks it down to 4 installments. And that first installment is due by that fee payment deadline on August 19th with that $40 fee. And then the second installment is September, third installment, October, fourth installment, November. And then we start all over again in January if you're choosing to do that deferred payment plan. But it does help a bit if you need to kind of break up those payments instead of trying to do that all in full in August. And here are some of our payment options. You can pay online in your My Bill. That again, student can make that payment, or we were talking about that payer being authorized to make those payments. And we have the electronic check where you can use your routing number and your account number to have that pulled directly from your checking or savings. There is no fee associated with that if you do use that. And then we do have a debit or credit card. And If you choose to use your debit card or credit card without that routing number and account number, there is a convenience fee that you will incur at that time. We also have a cashier's office located in the administration center, and they have the hours 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3 on Friday, and they do close for lunch from 12 to 12:30. And the other option is if you're choosing to mail it in, we do take checks via mail, and you would need to make that payable to UC Regents. And please include your student ID's number in that memo field so we know who to post that check to. And just as a little bit of info, ATMs, we do have 2 ATMs on campus because sometimes students are wanting to know if there's ATMs or parents would like to know that. So we do have one located in the administration building, and the other one is by the Terrace Center. And if you are a student that is going to be getting a refund, we highly recommend that you sign up for electronic fund transfer. This is an icon you're going to find in your Connect portal. And you're going to need, if you have your own personal checking or savings account, you will need that routing number and your account number. If you sign up for this, when the refund is processed, the student billing services process refunds on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It usually takes about 3 to 5 business days, and these funds will then be deposited into your personal checking or savings account. If you opt not to go this route, your refund will be mailed to you via check, and that's going to go to the mailing address you have on file with us. That will take about 2 weeks to get to you. So the electronic fund transfer is a lot quicker, more convenient. It just goes right to your bank.
All right, thank you so much, Carol. And before
You're
we
welcome.
transition to our live Q&A, there was a slide that was skipped, so let me go back to that real quick. It's such an important slide. It's understanding your checklist. So this is your unique checklist through your UC Merced portal in Connect. And so when you log on to your checklist and click the My Checklist item, you'll see your specific requirements, who is requesting them, and what the deadline is. I do recommend to review your checklist this week, and if you have any specific questions on anything, please contact the Students First Center. Checklist items, when you click on them, it gives you more information as well as to how to complete them. And so some upcoming checklist items include getting us your final official transcripts. Typically, when something's unsatisfied, it'll be red, but once we've received it and had a chance to acknowledge that, it'll shift to under review, so a triangle. If all is good and reviewed, it'll click down to the bottom as something that is green and completed. And if we ever request anything additional, it will be red, and it should trigger an email to you as to what is needed. So again, check your checklist soon and reach out to the Students First Center if you have any questions. Some of these deadlines are hard deadlines, like the health insurance waiver. It can't be extended. But some things, like the new student registration, although that was due June 3rd, it's still open and able to be done as soon as possible, please. And now I'll pass it over to Soseek.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Carol, Jamie. Wow, that was a lot of information we just received, but all really good information. That was all wonderful, good stuff. Just remember, this is a lot receiving right now. Don't get overwhelmed with it. We're all here for you. So just remember, with any questions, you may ask us now. Otherwise, you can always reach out to us. We'll be happy to go over with your scenario, your situation one-on-one and explain them to you. So it's a lot, but we'll also be having several other webinars coming up. So keep an eye on that. And this will be recorded as well. So let's start with our first question. Let's see what we got going on here. Priya has a question.
Hi, so I am registered for a Smart Start at the moment, and I was wondering, after she said that we're in about 12 units, I was looking at the courses, and a lot of the classes for my major are full. So how would I be able to get into classes such as those so that I can get the 15 units per semester?
Yeah, that's a great question, Priya. So essentially, I recommend looking at the four course plan within the catalog within your major specifically. And it's going to show you, give you a breakdown on recommended courses that you should be taking within your first year within the fall and spring semester. But as well as you can definitely connect with your assigned academic advisor that can help you navigate and also like choosing, well, helping you with course selections as well.
Awesome. And sorry, just one more question. It said in the email that we'd be getting our schedules no later than the 19th. I just want to make sure that they haven't been sent out yet because I didn't get them. So I just wanted to make sure.
So one thing I will share is UC Merced, we're really good with dates. If we tell you the 19th, we will not email you on the 17th, the 18th. We will start emailing you on the 19th. So don't panic, it's coming. But great questions. Thank you for that, Milton, as
Thank
well.
you.
Guadalupe?
Yeah, I just had a question about like what would be good, like a common loan plan or what options for loans.
So if you guys don't mind, Students First Center, I'll take that really quick. So when you say loans, like all students are offered student federal sub and unsubsidized loans. Those are, if you look at your offer status, your award letter, and on your portal, anything that is scholarship or grants, it's accepted in your behalf, and the loans are in offer status. So we haven't unlocked the loans yet, but we will be shortly. Correct, Carol? Chris, I think it's coming up, what, like
July.
July, usually it's
July?
July 1st. Oh, sorry, Chris. Usually it's July 1st.
Yeah. So we haven't turned them on. Maybe if you're going in there and like it's not working, but they are in offered status. You do have subsidized, unsubsidized, possibly both, maybe one depending on your SAI, but they are there for you, or you might even have a Parent Plus loan. If Guadalupe, if that doesn't make sense, you could reach out to us directly at Students First Center and we can look at your award letter with you and then talk about what would be the best plan for you.
Hi, so I have two questions. One is about Smart Start, and the other one is more about loans and how that payment installment works. So for Smart Start, I submitted all of my stuff by the June 3rd deadline, but I haven't received anything saying that I was on Smart Start or not. So I'm not completely sure if like how that would work.
So for anyone in the room who thinks they're in Smart Start, I'll let you know those emails are scheduled to go out tomorrow. So if you don't have anything by end of day tomorrow, contact us on Monday. We are closed on the Friday for the holiday. Just want to give everyone in the room a heads up for that. If you need any support on anything, financial, registration, what have you, we are closed on Friday. But no one's been notified about Smart Start yet. Those are going to be going out. Those emails will go out tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Because I was getting kind of worried. And then my second question, if you have loans on your award offer and also that Parent Plus loan, can you still do that four installment plan or how would that work with the loans?
That is a great question. Again, that is specific to you and your needs. So if you would reach out to us at Students First Center, we can look at your award and see, will that cover all of it? Is there something else left? So reach out to us and we can specifically answer that based on your award.
Okay, that's all of my questions. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we're going to move a little faster on the questions because I do see a lot of hands raised. So we do have a few more minutes with each other. So let's get to it. Sahib,
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
we can hear you now.
Sorry, I had to fix my microphone. So I actually have two quick questions. So the first one is, what phone number can I contact for any questions about Smart Start? Like, do you have a phone number I can write down?
You could reach out to us at the Students First Center. If you click on that, it tells you all the ways you can contact us. You can email us. There's a phone number that you could reach out to us. Send, smoke signals, which I don't suggest right now because it's really hot. Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, you could reach out to us at the Students First Center.
And then for my second question, so I saw that there were two orientation dates. One was for commuters and then one for non-commuters. So I am gonna not be commuting. but I couldn't sign up for that orientation date. What should I do about that?
Oh, honestly, I think you'll be just fine. I
Just show
don't
up on the
see,
date?
I you can contact us tomorrow. We can double check for you. But Chris, don't you think? I think they'll be okay. I don't see them really
What I
being a
would
major
suggest
issue.
is maybe go back into your orientation portal and see if you could swap your dates.
There
Because
was no option for it.
more capacity was open just on Tuesday, yesterday. So if you're not able to swap them, you can reach out to orientation directly. And it's orientation at ucmerced.edu. That way they could assist you with the swapping. Now the other
I
dates have a bit more capacity.
I tried calling them, but every time it just said they were all busy. Like I've been trying for like a week now.
They
So
are
Sahib, one thing I will tell you, and with all the departments, this is such a busy time for us
yeah.
that you're way better off in reaching out to us via email to all the departments because um, we will respond to you via email. I promise. Like it does, but on a phone, it's just really, really hard because some conversations take so long, and you could be trying to get in, and it would just be easier to reach out to us via
Okay.
email.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. All right, Adrian.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I was just wondering, for the students that applied for orientation, student orientation, will we be receiving our schedules? Because I think it said something about it. It like will make our schedule for us, or like our first 12 courses.
So that is referring to Smart Starts?
Um, I I don't know because in the checklist it said like if you apply for orientation, then you like they will make like they'll like make
Right.
your schedule for you.
Yeah, so that's the Smart Start registration process. So if you signed up for
Oh.
orientation by June 3rd, you were included
Mm-hmm.
in Smart Start, and we will be
Mm-hmm.
releasing your pre-registered schedule later this week. And that's for your
Oh,
fall
okay.
classes. That's not, it actually isn't tied to registration at all. It's just
It's just
doing orientation is what cues us to register you in classes because we're like, all right, they're really coming. They're going to orientation. But yeah, your Smart Start schedule is your fall classes. Later this summer, you'll have a chance to go into the orientation schedule and choose like which
mhm.
sections you want to go to and which classes you or like workshops you want to go to for orientation.
And to graduate on time, you need 15 units, so basically 15 hours.
Yeah, you need to average 15 units per semester. If
Mhm.
you need to take less, you can, but that might mean you need to make it up during summer school. So
All
if
right.
you take fewer than 15 units, you might be looking at some summer classes in order to graduate on time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hi there. What's your question?
Okay, so I just have a few questions. One is it's just one it's about the whole needing to get my bachelor's degree. I would have to do 2 units. It's just that in my writing readiness review, after I finished it, I applied for my writing 10. So because of that, I'm just worried now. Does that mean by applying for writing 10 and skipping writing 1, I won't be able to get my bachelor's degree, or is there nothing to worry about?
No, there's nothing to worry about there. So you will still need 15 units every semester. So, writing one and writing 10 are graduation requirements. If you were able to go past writing one, that's fine. You still just need 120 units. So, most of our students get to 120 with no problem. However, there are some majors that are significantly smaller, have smaller units. So, I think I am cutting out. So, I am going to let Zhang or Milton take over.
Yeah, I could take over. So essentially, writing one is considered as a separate requirement for your graduation. However, if you get exempted from it via through the writing placement exam, then you don't have to worry. You will eventually have to do some maybe elective. Those elective will also help you get towards that 120. But again, like Jamie said, a lot of majors does get up to about the 100 or 120 range. And at the end of the day, those elective credits are what's going to help you reach that 120.
Okay,
Awesome. Thank you.
so just in case I don't have this information completely accurate. It's just that so even though I skipped writing 1 and went to writing 10, I'll still get the credits needed for my writing portion, enough units to get my bachelor's degree. As long as I get 120 units, I'll be good for it, right?
Yeah, so that is the general concept. I will share that when you get exempted from writing one, you don't get credit. So I do want to make sure that's clear, is that exemption and completion is a little bit different. And so you still won't, if you get exempted from the writing one, you don't get the credit, but eventually, again, you will do elective credit down the future to make up those missing credit per se.
All right, then. So possibly in the future, I would have to eventually do some extra credits for skipping writing 1, possibly.
Possibly, and that would depend on your major.
Depending on my major. My major is aerospace engineering. Would that be a
So
problem?
it shouldn't be, but just in respect to, we have so many others asking questions. If you would like more detailed, specifically to you, because it seems like it's going into further detail, you can reach out to your advisor directly and they can go according to your plan. Because I feel like it'll help you so much more if you do a one-on-one with them. All right. So, Hosanna, what's your question?
Hi, good evening. I actually had two very quick questions, if that's okay. The first one being, I was unable to sign up for Smart Start, unfortunately. I'm technically my major is considered School of Engineering, even though it's a predominantly med major. However, am I gonna have my schedule chosen out for me just because I'm partially School of Engineering?
So, in general, students who are not part of the Smart Start will not be given a schedule. You will have to register for your classes. As far as I know, that Smart Start will be the only way you will be given a preset classes, unless you are maybe part of some specific living learning community where they require you to take like a specific course. But in general, you will have to register for classes.
Got it. Thank you so much. And then my second question being, so for cost of attendance, I remember a website, but I can't get it right anymore. There was a calculator that basically gave me my cost of tuition, how much was paid off, and then my FAFSA refund or deduction. How am I able to find that?
Carol just dropped it there. And I'm telling you, that tool is phenomenal, like fabulous tool. It really, really makes a lot of sense and brings it all together. So thank you,
Awesome.
Carol.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. I abbreviated the title. It's called UAT, and then the link, that's for the undergraduate affordability tool.
All right, John Franco.
Yes, I have two quick questions. I was in the middle college program and I've taken multiple college classes, and I wanted to know where would I send the transcripts from those colleges?
Yeah, so great question. So essentially, if you're taking community college courses, you definitely want to make sure that you send the official transcript over to us to UC Merced. That way we have that on file. That way we have proof that you took courses at that specific community college.
Where would I send it to?
Yeah, so you send it
I'll
to
put a link in the
admission.
chat.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And
Yep.
the second question was, how do I make sure that these classes actually transfer? Because I've taken like all the way till Calculus 3 and more and etc. So how do I make sure that these actually go through?
Yeah, so essentially, like once you submit those official transcripts to us to UC Merced specifically to admissions, essentially in your my degree path, you're gonna see exactly where those courses will count for within requirements, whether within your lower division GEs, for example. But you can definitely, I recommend connecting with your assigned academic advisor. That way they can go over that with you specifically.
Okay,
If
thank you.
anything, I would just throw in really quickly to help is by using the assist.org link that we put into the chat. That's also one way you can kind of try to double check to see if your course is transferable.
All right, thank you, John Franco. Skylar.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question regarding specific courses to take will come tomorrow for transfer students. I would I be speaking with my SSHA advisor for the classes that I would want to select once I get that email, I'm not sure how that works because I would need support going through the class catalog to select the proper courses.
Yeah, so essentially, Skylar, you should have received an email from your assigned academic advisor, specifically within the one of the academic advisors for the Bobcat Advising Center, not for Shaw. Since you were a first year student, you'll be assigned to a BAC academic advisor, and the advisor that you're assigned to can help you answer questions within courses as you progress within your first year.
And that would be tomorrow when I get the courses via email. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And the last question I have is, what is the distinction between Merced Connect and the student portal?
My understanding, those are the exact same thing. The student portal, it's more just referring to uh, your portal in general, but then the Merced Connect is just more the direct way it's being labeled as, if that makes sense. At least that's as far as I know and I understand.
Okay. Yeah, I just find that trying to find information is a little challenging. And so I try to go to student portal, but then sometimes information is on Merced Connect, and I'm really not quite sure which one is my major go-to. My sense is student portal, but it does seem like there's information on Merced Connect as well. That's not on the student portal. Like the affordability tool, I didn't even find that. I tried to look for it, I couldn't find it. But yeah.
That one is not in the Connect
Portal.
student portal at all. That is a link that you have to go to use that.
Okay. Okay.
And if you would like, I can drop that again in the chat.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you. I missed that. Sure. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you. Great questions. So our time has come to an end, and I know there's many of you, and I apologize we weren't able to get to all of you. You all had such great questions. The rest of you that had your hands raised and we weren't able to reach you, I encourage you to reach out to us. Anything, and to be fair, to let your advisors know, we don't want all of you guys contacting them at once, so they can service each one of you one by one, is they are sending that email out tomorrow. So please remember, do not contact them before tomorrow. You can, I'm not saying don't, but generally wait for that email to come because it'll have so much more explanation in there what to do. And then reach out to us. Remember, we're on holiday Friday. Reach out to us on Monday. So wait for those emails. They should be going out by end of day tomorrow, which will have far more information for you. And anything else, including registration and whatnot, reach out to the Students First Center. We're your one stop. That's why we're there. We'd love to hear from you. Say, hey, we saw you on webinar yesterday and I have a question. We would love to assist you. So with that said, thank you for taking the time being here. Go Bobcats. We're looking forward to seeing you guys all at campus.
I hope you
And
guys
have a beautiful evening, guys.
I hope you guys
Bye.
had a great time and today was helpful. I did put in the chat our raffle for the parking as promised, so please be sure to fill that out before you hop off. At least grab the
Woohoo!
link because we are hopping off shortly. So
Chris,
grab the
can we
link.
fill it out too?
Of course. Just kidding. Students, if you enter, you'll find out if you're a winner early next week. So please fill out that raffle. We'll give it one more minute before we disconnect.
All right. Make sure you fill it out. That is a good prize. I wish I could do it too. Well, thank you again. We are really excited to see you guys at the fall and adventure. Way to come. All right, guys. Have a nice evening.
All right, bye everyone.